What's going on, guys? It's Troydan here. And today, we got NBA players who went to jail. That's right, NBA players, just like some people, go to jail here and there. It's just jail. It happens. I know Andrew Bogut, of course, will probably be in this. As you know, he spent a lot of time in prison for giving heroin to children. I have not seen this yet, though. Link in the description below. It's from Rebound. Make sure to sub 30 times. Players went to jail. Go.
One player committed so many crimes, he had to play NBA games wearing an ankle monitor. While another did something so horrible, it ended his career.
Bogut? That's Bogut, right?
Forever. These are the NBA players that went to jail. And J.R. Smith didn't just go to jail. He made a mistake.
J.R. went to jail?
That cost him his best friend's life. During the early 2000s, J.R. was making a name for himself in basketball.
Did I know this?
Behind the scenes, he was battling his demons. JR had an addiction to speeding. Anytime he got behind the wheel of a car, nothing brought him more joy than burning
Okay, out of all the things you can have an addiction to, I think speeding is pretty low on the limit.
Rubber. I mean, in 2005 alone, he got 4 speeding tickets and 27 points docked on his driver's license.
27 points?
And not only that, the dude had his license suspended 5 separate times.
Hey, I've been twice.
I didn't even know that was possible.
I got twice, speeding.
JR found a way. And because he's a $1 million athlete, he had the best lawyer's money could buy, so he always got off easy. But eventually, his addiction caught up with him, causing one of the worst tragedies the NBA has ever seen.
What?
And no amount of money was getting him out of this one.
What? I haven't heard of it.
It was the summer of 2007. JR picked up his friends Carl and Andre to head to a cookout. The 3 boys were cruising, vibing to music, but for JR, this wasn't enough. There's only one thing that brings him joy. So, before he knew it, he was going 70 and a 35, running stop sign after stop sign. That night, JR was knocking on death's door, and all of a sudden,
what?
JR and his best friend Andre were laid out on the asphalt.
What?
Turns out, JR had just driven into the middle of a busy intersection, causing another car to collide with him. And by some miracle, JR only sprained his left shoulder. But Andre, he wasn't as lucky. He suffered critical head injuries and had to be rushed to the hospital. But paramedics realized there wasn't much they could do. By the time Andre arrived at the hospital, his brain had 0 activity, and it wasn't long before he passed away. Just think about that.
What?
JR's stupid decision to speed cost him his best friend's life. I think we all speed a little bit here and there, right? But after hearing this, we just gotta do better, because this could have been any one of us.
Okay, I think there needs to be a little more clarification. I need to look a little more into that one. I don't know anything about that.
The story doesn't end there.
I've never heard of this.
Had charges to face. Reckless driving, failure to obey a stop sign, speeding, and failure to wear a seatbelt. In a situation like this,
no seatbelt?
The average person could serve 15 years to life in prison.
Gotta wear your
If JR
seatbelt.
was convicted with these crimes, his basketball career would have been over. But luckily for JR, Andre's mother didn't want his life ruined over this. She knew what it was like to lose a son and didn't want to do that to another mother. So with that, JR only faced 90 days in jail, 500 hours of community service, and a license suspension for 2 years. JR owes his freedom to Andre's mom, and as the trial progressed, it was hard for everyone in that courtroom. And it led to one of the most emotional moments in JR's life.
Like you said, it's something like this just happens and I just move on or just forget about it. It's impossible. Talk to my mother about it, my father. I mean, I can't talk to Dre. It's unbearable to deal with. People who've been in my situation, I can't even talk to them about it because they've gone through their own thing. And I am deeply sorry. I never intended this to happen. Dre is like my brother, just like Jamal, Kenny, and Demetrius. He's always there. I mean, it always has been. It just tears me up that it has to. I mean, it went down like that. I take full responsibility for.
This is great. I had no idea this happened. I had no idea about J.R. Smith in this. If I did, I completely forgot. I don't think I knew.
But indeed, it was an accident. I mean, I know it's not going to bring him back. I apologize to everybody. I apologize to Mrs. Bell because I couldn't imagine what I would do if that was my daughter. I've thought about it. I have dreamt about it. I've dreamt about the shoe being on the other foot if it was me. Right after the accident, me and my mother had this conversation, and I told her I wish the shoe was on the other foot.
Now, JR is not the only player that's had run-ins with the law. Some players break the law so much, they have to play NBA games while they're still in jail.
Katie went to prison?
That's not a joke. I saw a video of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope playing an NBA game while wearing an ankle monitor, and it made me wonder, how is this even possible?
What?
Well, back in 2017, when Kentavious played for the Pistons, one night, Detroit had lost a close game to Miami, 96-97. So, to lift his spirits, Kentavious went out with the boys and turned up. Dude partied all the way till 3 a.m. But that's when he made the worst decision of his entire life. After hours of drinking and partying, Kentavious hopped in his car, put the keys in the ignition, and sped off.
Come on, Kentavious. It's 2000. Oh, I don't know what year it was, but
heavily under the influence.
No excuse
that's
for that.
That's when police
now.
clocked a Jeep Wrangler going 45 and a 25. So the cops pulled it over.
45
and inside,
and 20. Oh, miles.
They found a glossy-eyed Kentavious who completely smelled like alcohol. Cops started questioning him, and since Kentavious was slurring his words and a breathalyzer test showed a blood alcohol level of 0.08, they decided to arrest him. And the worst part is, Kentavious had other people in the car. But lucky for him, he was only given a ticket for operating while intoxicated.
That's it? You
and was released from jail. But things only get worse.
I didn't know this guy was like this.
Kentavious was put on a 12-month probation, and to stay out of jail, all he had to do was submit some alcohol and drug tests. Simple enough, right? Well, because he's a multi-million-dollar NBA player.
Why? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm above the law. So he stopped submitting tests, and eventually, the law came knocking.
Good.
He was sentenced to a 25-day jail sentence in Orange County, California, for violating his probation. And this happened while playing for the Lakers. But because Kentavious is an NBA player,
dude,
they let him out.
I never liked Kentavious Caldwell-Pope just because he was poop, but I did not know he was actually this kind of a person. I dislike him even more.
On a work release program.
He took Lonzo's spot!
Basically was allowed to play in the NBA on one condition. He had to wear an ankle monitor.
I never knew this.
Which you could literally see him wearing during games. And then after each game, he had to go back to jail. With such an amazing opportunity like playing in the NBA, comes with responsibility. But time and time again, players abuse it. And there's no better example of this than what Jason Richardson did to his kid. Back in 2009, Jason was seen driving his Dodge Hellcat around Phoenix.
That's nice. That's a dumb.
And at first, undercover police spotted him going 67 and a 40, which was already dangerous. But then they decided to follow him after this, and things got intense.
Why?
Jason sped up to 90 miles per hour in a 35. That's 55 miles per hour over the speed limit. So at this point, they had to pull him over. When they walked up to his window, Jason admitted he was speeding. But then, police saw his 3-year-old son in the back without a car seat.
Oh my God, Jason, you stupid moron! Why are you? Oh my!
Jason on the spot.
Dude.
He got charged with reckless driving, excessive speeding.
Was this guy a judge in the dunk contest?
And when the NBA found out, he was suspended without pay, costing him $111,000.
That's nothing to him.
That's how much 2 Hellcats cost. This man's a dumbass. Give me the Hellcat, all right?
He's a dumbass.
Only a child seat. Now, Jason was eventually released from jail after a few hours.
What a moron.
And afterwards, he said, I just want to apologize to my teammates, my family, especially my fiance. It's a tough time for me. I've been questioned as a basketball player, questioned as a person, but my fatherhood in question is tough because I try to be the best father I can be.
No, you don't!
Try to keep my kids
you
out of
didn't even
harm's
try! How is that trying?
Doesn't really seem like it, Jason.
You're a liar, dude.
90 miles per hour.
You're a liar.
And your kid wasn't even in a car seat.
You're an idiot and a liar. And
but
silly.
That's not the only thing Jason had to say. He went on to say that, if you don't drop a like and subscribe to the channel, he's gonna take you for a drive.
What?
Yeah,
No!
That's right, with no seatbelt.
What?
I know you can't risk that.
I can't risk it.
What are you doing? But anyways, at least this didn't ruin Jason's career. Sometimes players commit crimes they never recover from. Like this next player. When police found out what Sebastian Telfair did,
What the hell is?
it ended his career. And it's really such a tragedy because in high school, Sebastian was unbelievable.
Was he?
He was averaging 33 points, 9 assists per game, and was practically unstoppable. So the headlines were literally calling him the next LeBron.
My name seems familiar.
After Sebastian was drafted to the Blazers, you would think everything would be up from here, but his life ended up going downhill from here. He became a shell of his former self, and once he joined the NBA, he barely averaged 7 points a game.
Yucky.
And then to make matters worse, in 2006, Sebastian's secret double life was exposed.
Ooh,
The
what's
Blazers
this?
had just landed their private jet in Boston on their way to a game. This is when authorities saw something unusual.
Hold on, I'm
in
gonna guess. Cocaine.
Sebastian's suitcase, a loaded weapon.
Damn it, I was
For
gonna
an
guess a
NBA
gun!
player, this wasn't gonna fly in the airport.
Damn it,
Literally.
always should guess a gun over
Sebastian
coke.
told police that he grabbed the wrong bag when he left, and that it was actually his girl's luggage. Hold on. What the hell his girl need guns for? Anyways, after some investigating,
She on a mission.
it turned out he was telling the truth. So luckily, he escaped without any charges. For now.
Interesting.
So you'd think getting off easy, he'd make sure something like this never
I can't even
happens
do that.
again, right? Well, just a year later, him and his friend found themselves in another controversy. Sebastian was
Coke.
seen driving his Range Rover at 77 miles per hour
Coke.
at 45.
Coke.
And he was driving with a suspended license. But it gets even worse.
Coke.
When police searched the car, they found a loaded handgun under the seat that
guns.
wasn't registered to either him or his girlfriend.
No good.
So Sebastian couldn't blame it on his girl this time.
Why you got
It's
guns?
no surprise, both Sebastian and his friend denied knowledge of it. An investigation took place, and the police didn't care whose it was. It was still in his car. So Sebastian pleaded guilty to criminal possession of a weapon, got 3 years probation, and a 3-game suspension from the NBA.
You gave him three, oh wow, 3 whole games. Really sticking it to him.
Point. This is strike number 2.
3.
If he messes up again, it could mean serious jail time. And with that, Sebastian was a good boy for about a decade. But in 2017, the craziest arrest of them all happened.
Coke.
Sebastian and his friend were suspiciously driving a Ford F-150 around Brooklyn. No headlights on, illegally parking. 2 undercover officers saw this and knew they were up to no good.
Why can't they see the trouble?
So they pulled up,
Play
saw
Tetris.
a lit joint in the dashboard,
Joint?
and decided to search the
What
vehicle.
about coke?
But what they found in the trunk was enough to land anyone in jail
Probably a
for
gun.
10 plus years.
Probably a gun.
It's like Sebastian was ready for war or something. And because of his criminal past, he wasn't gonna get let off the hook this time. He was facing 15 years in prison, and it was looking like
a
there was
gun
no
or
hope.
coke?
A 2-week trial took place, and eventually, Sebastian was found guilty and sentenced to 3.5 years in jail.
For what?
But after a few appeals, Sebastian got off on a $500,000 bail and was sentenced to probation, where he was forced to wear an ankle monitor for the rest of his sentence. And just
Classic.
like that, another rich NBA player was let off easy.
I'd
Now,
say.
a 3-year prison sentence. That's crazy. But starting a worldwide controversy. That's a crime we gotta talk about. LiAngelo Ball's arrest was such a big deal.
Hold
that
on,
even Donald
I know
Trump
about this. This was great. Took a Louis belt,
had
wasn't
to
it? Or was
get
it
involved.
Gucci? Was it
Started
Louis or
back in
Gucci?
2017, while LiAngelo was in college at UCLA. There was a special game between them and Georgia Tech. The game was set to take place in China. Obviously, this is a new place for LiAngelo and his teammates. So when they arrived, they decided to explore the area. But
This was one
that's
of the
when they made
dumbest
a
things I've
mistake
ever seen anyone
that
do.
could have left them in jail
At that
for
level.
life. See, there was a Louis Vuitton store
Louis,
right
it was
next to
Louis.
their hotel. And obviously, they have security and cameras everywhere.
Yeah, it's
But
China. They
for
track
some
everything you do.
reason, LiAngelo and his teammates decided to hit a lick anyways. On camera.
I
They were
can't.
spotted stealing from the store, with LiAngelo grabbing a pair of Louis
What
sunglasses.
an idiot!
This dude just risked his entire career before it even began
God, you're
for a couple $100 pair of
Look how
glasses.
stupid you are.
And the crazy thing was, LiAngelo and the boys thought they'd get away with it. Until the next day, when police showed up to their hotel and arrested them.
Oh
now,
my
if you don't know, in China, they do not take shoplifting lightly.
Yeah, they cut your hands off,
especially if you're a
cuh.
foreigner. This story became such a huge
Dude, look, you got
deal
your hands.
that Donald Trump caught wind of it, and he saw an opportunity to improve his image. So he contacted President Xi Jinping to straighten things out. And after a few days, the 3 teammates were released. Then, LiAngelo showed up to the Today Show and broke down his ugly China experience.
We all went out one night, went to a Louis Vuitton store. People started taking stuff, and then, me just not thinking and being with them, I took something too. And we left thinking we'll just get away. You know how kids think. I didn't realize till I got back to my hotel, I'm like, that was stupid, but by then it was too late. And then sure enough, the next morning, the police came and got us.
You
Surprise.
spent the night in jail?
We're in jail for a day and a half or something like that.
What was that like?
Oh, it was horrible.
I bet.
They take your clothes, you wear
You
like
they get
whatever they
fingered.
have for your little jumpsuit or whatever. Take your shoestrings.
They don't play
And you
around.
just sit in the cement cell for however long. It's just you and then all the officers. And they don't speak English.
I mean, I just hope LiAngelo learned his lesson, man. The only good thing I can say is, at least that reporter didn't ask him some dumbass question. I can't tell you how many times I've seen reporters get humiliated by NBA players. There's been some
Segue,
pretty
segue.
hilarious moments recently.
Segue.
and I got the video to catch you up.
Let's go.
So
All
click right here.
Super. Yeah, NBA players went to jail. Starting off with the J.R. Smith one, I don't think I knew about that. Maybe I did, I just forgot. I don't think I knew about any. Well, I knew about LiAngelo. I knew all about LiAngelo. But other than, that, I don't think I knew about these. At least I don't remember them. But I do have short-term memory loss. I think it's early Alzheimer's. Guys, if you got a video like for me to watch or react to, you can tweet me at Troydan under the hashtag TroydanReacts. Thank you for watching, and kids, stay out of trouble!